Hey guys, now that we're making some progress getting some sounds out of our instruments, let's talk about how to read the notes. Now, low instruments such as a trombone or a bass, they read with what's called a bass clef. And the high instruments like a trumpet or a flute, they read using a treble clef. Now, some people find it a little hard to learn how to read these different notes. And there are different ways you can see in our book. There's different ways to learn the spaces and the lines and what they mean. But I want to just talk about another way that I think is easier. If you know that the alphabet goes from A to G, like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, if you know that it wraps around between A and G, and if you remember that alternating from a line to a space is how we move from one note to another. Let me give you an example. The treble clef that the trumpet uses can also be called the G clef because the curly part wraps around and shows you where the G line is. Now, if that's a G on that line, if we move down to the space just below that line, that will be the letter of the alphabet right before G. Now, I'd encourage you to learn your alphabet backwards. G, F, E, D, C, B, A, then it would wrap around to G again. Okay, so before G, lower than G is F. Okay, that's in the space right there. Using our backwards alphabet, if we go down to the line below an F, that would be an E. So right there, we've got three notes that we can tell the difference because the G is on that second line there with the treble clef, and the G clef itself tells us that's a G. Then we can learn the F is the space right below that, and the E is the bottom line. Now, if you do not enough practice with those three notes, you will start to really tell the difference, and you won't need those little extra steps of doing the alphabet to know, oh yeah, that's my F in the space, or that's G, F, E, that's an E. Okay, so it all takes practice, like when you learn how to read, you used to spell and then blend, like k, at, t, cat. Eventually, you lose that step. You just do it automatically. Okay, so next, a trombone, the bass clef, can also be called the F clef because the curly part of the clef tells us where an F is. So an F is that line, the second to top line, and if we were to move down to the space right below that, we would just know that in the alphabet an E comes before an F. All right, and just below that, we'd be on a line again, because it goes line, space, line, space. And if we're moving down from an E, it would be a D. So learning your alphabet backwards is going to help you get down, and there's our first three notes on trombone, F, E, and D. All right, so once again, you start to tell the difference between those three notes and gradually expand our notes. We're not expecting you to know every single note straight away. Try not to get overwhelmed. Remember, the alphabet is your friend with learning note names.